Good. So welcome to They Said No, Now What? This is a objection handling sales training that I'm running for everybody. So it really is about how to handle the obstacles people put in their own way from being able to work with amazing women like yourselves. So we do the no ick, no fuss, no manipulation sales process, and this is what I wanted to share with you all today. So a little bit about me. For those of you that don't know me, personally I'm a mad fan of unicorns and cats, and I'm a huge fan of tea turtle t-shirts. You can see in the green t-shirt that is one of them. And I'm seeing something here. Everyone's moved over from Claire's webinar. Yeah, it's a bit webinars everywhere today. It's been a massive, massive week for free trainings. It's going to be a busy weekend for people catching up on the ones that they've missed. So, but about me, just quickly, because I know that a lot of you I know, I am a cat lover, a unicorn fan. I am the squad leader of a very unique mastermind that I've put together. And I suppose if I was going to give myself a little tagline, and this came up for me last night at about 11 o'clock when I was fine-tuning all the slides, I suppose I consider myself a vision builder for women in business. So I love working with women to really tap into their true vision and really go for that with the copy and the courses that they create and everything that they put out online, and really about coming from that space of purpose. And I used to always think that I had to be the big purpose-driven person with the business that was creating all of the massive change. And then I realized last year that my role is to help the helpers, to be the coach of coaches, to mentor the people that need the support around some of the details so they can focus on the healing and creating the change in the world. And I'm really happy being in that space. Anyway, enough about me. Oh, it's not letting me change slides. There we go. Let's talk about this webinar and talk a little bit about sales. As it says here on the slide, sales is a scary and uncomfortable thing for many people because we've been conditioned that somehow it's bad to ask. And when someone says, I can't pay for it, I don't have time to complete, we just automatically assume it's a no. Now, for those of you that don't know, my background is 17 years in retail. So I was the national sales manager for a shoe company, and I started on the floor. I started as a casual. I worked for Kodak and Rabbit before digital came in. So every job that I pretty much had for 17 years was really strongly focused on sales. Now, I know when I started my first job, I was terrified asking people to buy stuff. It was so scary. But I got over it because I had to, because I wanted to get promoted and run successful businesses. But it really was, and I think it stems back maybe to the 80s and 90s where, you know, it was like, and you get steak knives and sales started being perceived as this slimy thing. And the can I help you? People sort of cottoned on to the fact that when somebody asked if they could help you, they were going to see if they could sell you something. But that was the job, right? That was the job. But people seem to have disempowered themselves that they can't say no, or they have to lie, or they're not allowed to have. And so these are some of the things we'll be looking at in today's training. So I want to ask this question, and it's a yes or a no in the chat box if you feel like answering it. And I put this in some of the copy that I put out for this training. Type me a yes in the comments box if you have ever really wanted to buy something but said no, or given a reason to not make the purchase. So you've effectively talked yourself out of something for whatever the reason. You might have seen the shoes, you might have seen a really cool dress, it might have been a tasty treat, whatever it is, but this is where the conditioning comes up. So we're not allowed to have, because I don't know about you guys, but a lot of my clients that I look after, they always feel that somebody else has to come first, or, you know, there's always a reason not to, or it's somehow selfish. Whatever it is, it's part of our conditioning. So this is something that it's really important to understand this when we look at sales, because we're going to be looking at sales from our perspective as the person offering the service and offering the product, and the person who's saying no and putting up the barriers, because there's two people in the process. So we're going to get into it. I've kind of like talked and sort of missed my next slide. So how many times do we tell ourselves we can't have something because we feel guilty, or it's wrong, or not deserved? And if you felt like that, imagine the person that you're talking to is feeling like that as well. And this is why we handle objections. And this is why I don't consider myself a sales trainer. It's a part of how I support people. But it's so important for us to be successful in the work that we do, to be able to get over our own blocks and to be able to support people to get over theirs. Now, we don't coerce people, we don't bully, and we don't use shame or guilt to get a sale. And some of you might have seen I put a comment in a group that I'm in, that somebody did not like the name of this training, because they said it was, you know, breaching consent and et cetera, et cetera. I've done sales training with people where you spend the whole time on the call looking for keywords and phrases to manipulate and shame and guilt people into buying, and that is not what we do. Because I'm coming this from the space that we have a know, like, trust factor built with these people that we're talking to already. So they've seen us online, we've had some chats, we've commented on posts, maybe they've already downloaded some of our free things. So by the time they get to our call, they've had 3 to 5 touch points with us already. So they're comfortable with who we are. It's not cold traffic, and we don't have to manipulate anyone, because it just makes me feel ill at the thought. Because here's the thing, if you aren't, can't, or won't sell, you won't have a business for very long. And I saw a comment on a post where a lady said, you know, I just put stuff out there and I hope for the best. And something that I've said for a long time, and please write this down, hope is not a strategy. Now, for those of you that have sort of moved around my circles, you know I'm very big on the strategy, having a plan, taking considered action. Hope is not a strategy. And I know sometimes we put offers out there and we hope people will buy, and that we don't have to talk to them until they're a client. And sometimes it does work like that. I'm not going to say it doesn't. But realistically, hope is not a strategy. And it was something that I really had to learn the hard way. So hopefully you ladies don't. But I want you to type in an answer for me. And type in the type of business you do, and type it in. So if you're a kinesiologist or a relationship coach, type it into the chat box if you genuinely believe that your work helps people and makes a huge difference to that person's life. So type in what you do. Careers practitioner, yes, definitely makes a difference. Your career is a huge part of your life. Speech pathologist, oh my gosh, people being able to communicate, it's so important. Money management, Marlene, if people don't have their money right, it's pure stress. Relationship goddess, aging without limits. So you ladies have a bigger purpose than your own worries about being rejected, or worries that anything that comes up for you around sales. So keep a list, write some notes down. If stuff comes up for you about sales and about anything that we talk about on this training, write it all down. So Wendy's a forensic kinesiologist. Geez, that sounds intense. I have to get some more stuff around that. Kelly's an eating coach. Everyone adds value, but you really need to start identifying your stuff around sales. Because when you do have this all sorted, you will have more clients. But we know that it's bigger than that. You know, you will actually want to talk to people about your work, and you will offer more people your products and services because you'll have a system. You'll know what to say. You'll know how to help people. And the thing is, you'll know how to help people figure out if this is actually a genuine no, which we talk about, or if they're putting a block in the way. Because sometimes people get in the way of their own opportunities for success. Now, when we handle sales objections correctly with the right intention, there is never anything icky about handling an objection, ever. As soon as you start to feel icky, that's a bit of a notice point for you that you need to have a look at what you're actually doing. And if anyone wants access to the sales training I ran last year called Connected Sales, where we talk about this as well, I'm more than happy to shoot you ladies the link through. But when you have the right intention about making an offer for your services and really helping the person, there'll never be a problem. Now, we've also got Katrina's a mentor to bookkeepers, Amanda's a concierge. And see, this is the thing. So often what we do frees people up. I'll get that to you, Marlene. Frees people up to be able to do the things they really love. And to me, that's amazing. That gets me out of bed every day. So anyway, objections. What are they? What are common objections? Why we handle an objection? What if they say no? This is the kind of things that we're going to be talking about. So before we get into that, look, what I'll do, ladies, in the replay email, I'll just put the Connected Sales link down the bottom as well. So that was a free training from, I think, about November last year. So I'll just put it in there. So if anyone wants to watch it, you can. It does tie in really nicely with what we're talking about today. So, mindset. Now, for those of you that don't know me well, before I really stepped into the space of doing a lot of business strategy with people, I was very much into the personal development coaching, the mindset, all of that kind of stuff. Because with the start I had in life, it took me until I was like 28 to learn that my mindset was everything. And it's really, really important when you're getting on a call with somebody who is a lead and potentially a client, that your mindset is right. Because how you come to a sales call is going to be reflected right back at you. It really is. The other person on the end of the line is going to pick up on your energy like you wouldn't believe. So if you don't have faith in your value, your ability to deliver, if you don't have faith in your pricing, the other person's going to feel that. And another thing that I haven't actually put in there is if you're getting on a call with someone and your only intention is to sell, that's going to create a different energy than coming onto a call with the intention to serve. So it's really important, and it might sound like a little thing, but the energy you put out is the energy you get back. So whenever I get on a call with somebody, whether it's a free call or a little low-cost call or whatever, it's not about, I'm going to sell you something. It is a bit of an audition process where I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to offer massive value to the other person on the phone. And then if we're a good fit and I think I can help them more, I'll offer them some more stuff. So it's always coming from a place of service. So, but you've got to get your mindset right around sales. So this is why it's really good going through this. If stuff's coming up for you, make a note of what it is and then work on clearing that. Okay, any questions so far? You can type your questions into the group chat. I'm seeing everyone, seeing it all come up. Linda is a business mentor for vision setting and purposeful intentions. I'm very excited about coming on to getting interviewed by you, Linda, for your summit. Can't wait. Any questions, please feel free to type them in. We do have question time at the end as well. And we do have a section in here where we're going to be doing some role plays if you have any sticky objections, because I love putting myself on the spot. And I also like to laugh at myself. But all right. And Nicole, she helps people stay in love with their business. I was actually talking to Nicole yesterday about her work. I'm very excited to see where you go with that, Nicole. Anyway, let's have a look at the common objections. And you've probably heard some of these before. I can't afford it. I don't have the time. I have to ask my partner. Oh, I can't do it now. Oh, it sounds great. Maybe later. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, no, probably not. You know, all of those things are objections. But what's a no? What is a no? And I think this is where people get a little bit confused. A no to me is, hey, look, you know what? That sounds great, but that's not for me. Thanks for your time. I'll do a review for you on your page, and the call ends. That to me is a very clear no. And if somebody says no, that's fine. That's not about going, oh, but hang on, but wait, but because then that reeks of desperation. I don't do desperation, right? If somebody is a definite no, that's fine. I will keep in touch with them. And no doesn't mean I've been rejected. Just means they don't want what I have to offer. They stay on the list. I'll keep talking to them online. There's never an issue. A no doesn't mean that relationship is severed. And I know there's people that I've worked with in the past. If you say no to them, you're gone and you're burnt from the network. It's not how I believe we should operate. Because you never know if they're going to send anyone else to you, or maybe they will change their mind a little bit later. But that is a no. That is my definition of a no. Yes, Katrina, you will get copies of the recording. Oh, I've never sent the slides out before, but if people want the slides, I can send the slides out too. But okay, so let's have a look at these common objections. Now, I didn't put a separate page up for all of them, so I'm just going to leave that slide up there, but let's have a look at I can't afford it. Okay. Money is the biggest objection. Now, yes, there are going to be people out there that can't afford it, or there are going to be people out there who can't afford the lump sum, or there are going to be people out there who that's a knee-jerk reaction to say that, oh, sorry, I can't afford that. And it's not a reflection of your value. Quite often that can be a reflection of their own self-esteem. I can't afford it means I don't deserve it. Now, you'll get a little feel for this around what that actually really means to that person. But if somebody says to me, I can't afford it, this is what I ask. And I know there's people that have clients, and they've probably heard me, some of you might have heard me say that. It's like, I always ask, and write this one down. If money was not an issue, would you still be interested in the squad or business accelerator or whatever the package is? Because let's get money out of the way, because that's pretty much one of the biggest objections you will ever get. And most people, if they genuinely can't afford it, they'll say, you know what, I can't afford it because of this, this, and this. Great. What I like to do is give people some tips to go out there and make money. And say, hey, well, we've talked about this. You could do this, this, and this. Go out and launch that. See if you can create some extra income. So this is how I'm adding value to the call. And would you like to touch base in a week? So it's not pushing them or manipulating them to get them to say, well, I'm going to max out the credit card and I'll put a second mortgage on the house and, I'll sell a kidney. That's not what it's about. But it's being really sure of where they're at financially, because I don't want anyone to sign up with me that is going to put themselves under huge amounts of duress to be able to afford to work with me. A stretch is okay, but duress is a no for me. I would rather somebody go away for 3 months and start saving up the money to then come back and then work with me. But that's my values, right? But if they say, you know what, I am interested, I just don't know how to make it fit in my budget right now. Great. That objection, we've identified it. So they can't quite fit it into the budget. Then you can start working with people around how can we organize a payment plan? So I run the squad. So, if somebody said to me, I can't afford this round of the squad, it's like, okay, great. Pop a deposit down, secure your spot, and then you've got 3 months to go out and start getting some cash flow together for it. Great. Awesome. So we haven't lost them as a client. We've given them solutions. But if we had have stopped at the, oh, I can't afford it. Oh, okay, no worries. All the best. Both of us have missed out on an opportunity to actually really create something. Does that make sense? Does anyone how does everyone feel about that? If you think that's fair, give me a yes or a totally from Teresa. Because most people will just let it go. If somebody is able to work the system and work the process and we can work together, great, I'll do that. So I can't afford it. Money is a big objection, but always be open to working with the person. And remember that question, if money was not an issue, would you still be interested? And it gives people the space to be open and have a real conversation with you without any embarrassment. Now, that could also, they could be like, oh, well, money isn't actually the issue. It's I don't have time. Because time is a big one that people throw up there. Type in yes if you've ever had anyone say, I don't have the time to do your thing. Now, Robbie's in the process of setting up private health and Medicare to help with this question. Yeah, awesome. If you have the kind of services where you can set up things to assist with payment and that kind of stuff, take advantage of it. So yeah, so that I don't have time junket. We all have 24 hours in a day, so this would be like another one. Oh, I don't have time. Okay, cool. Tell me about that. Be really curious about the person, because when they don't have time, maybe you can actually help them figure out a way to make the time work. So I had a lady who said, she's like, well, I don't know if I'm really going to have time to do the work with you. I can do the 1 hour coaching, but I have X amount of hours to work on my business because I have kids and, I'm committed to raising them. And it's like, great. Okay. So she came to me with the assumption, she wanted to check in, but she had a bit of an assumption about what the workload to work with me would be like. So when she was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to have the time, we asked the question. So when you say time, what does that mean for you? Is it time to do the sessions? How much homework do you think there will be? Is there time to implement a problem? Let's have a chat about it. Let's see what we can come up with. So you can see that's just a genuine conversation and genuinely being interested around handling the time. Because I know there's sales trainers out there that will be like, oh, well, we've all got the same amount of time and how much do you want it? And like, you obviously don't want it enough. And that just makes me want to stab myself in the ears with blunt, rusty forks, because that just kind of language just makes me feel sick. But if you have a client who is really busy, who has a family, who is looking after things, is working, plus doing a business, plus looking after a whole heap of other stuff, of course the thought of taking on something new can feel a little overwhelming. And I think we're allowed to acknowledge that. Because sometimes I feel like I don't have the time and I only have 2 cats. I don't have kids or a partner to look after or anything like that. And even I can sometimes feel like, oh, I have time. So having that really beautiful conversation and asking what time means to them, instead of just going, oh, okay, don't have time, no worries. Because when we go, oh, okay, that's security within ourselves. That's all right, Jess. Oh, did you not get the reminder, Jess? I sent one out. Oh, please tell me everyone got the reminder. Oh, sorry about that. So that's the I don't have time objection. Okay, cool. So not sure what happened, Jess. But you will get the recording and the slides and everything else. Okay, so we've sorted out that I can't afford it. So we found out if they genuinely can't afford it, if they need a little bit of space to get some money together, we've given them some tools and actions to be able to create that, or we've created a payment plan or an alternative. So we've worked through I can't afford it. I don't have the time. We've now stepped in to go, okay, well, what does that mean for you? Is it the time to do the work? Is it the time for the sessions? What is it? And how can we support you to manage your time to get a successful outcome from us working together? Now, the next one, I have to ask my partner. Now, old school sales training that I went through was like, well, that's when you turn around and say, oh, what? Wouldn't your partner want you to be successful? Makes me want to dry reach that thing. Respect the people have to ask their partner, especially if you have a high-end program. If somebody's going to invest 2, 3, 5, 10K with you and they're in a committed relationship, of course they want to check in with their partner. You know, if they've got shared finances, if they've got a mortgage and they've got all the other things, I think it's fine. The thing with having to ask my partner is like, great, how are you going to sell this to him or her? How are you going to sell this to your partner? And the person will be like, well, what do you mean? And it's like, well, I've been on the phone with you for half an hour, 45 minutes. We've been connected on Facebook and this and that and da-da-da-da-da. How are you going to explain this to your partner? Because he doesn't know me from a bar of soap. Work with your potential client on the best strategy for them to be able to go back to their partner. You know, what would your partner, and that's asking the questions, what would your partner object to about you doing this? Is it purely the money? Is there something else? You know, sorry, excuse me, to her drink. Is there something else? You know, Marlene's right, well, her program works best when the partner is involved. So there is the temptation, and if you've listened to other sales trainers, there is the temptation to be, partner, he won't mind, he doesn't care, like, just he wants you to be successful, doesn't he? So that's a shame and a guilt trip. So I would coach the person on how to approach their partner and how to talk to them about the value and the benefits and what they're going to get for the business as a couple, whatever the outcomes are. So who here gets the partner objection? Type in a yes if you get that partner objection a little bit. Anna's a relationship coach. Anna Mason, if you don't know her yet, yeah, that might be a big one. Well, the relationship's not working, I have to face it. Yeah, so it is an objection. It's probably a harder one to handle. And, you know, whether it's price or not, you know, I don't want to dig too deep into people's relationships with that. But I'm not afraid to say, oh, okay, cool, no worries. We need to make sure you can really tell him the real benefits of this. How are you going to approach him? Because I've got some tips that I can give you so then you can go back and tell him. And, you know, and like Jess said, sometimes, you know, he'll need to look after the kids. It's not always the price, you know, and it's like, that's a great thing to bring up. Can you organise with your partner to look after the kids while you're working? Would he need to do that? One of my clients, when she's got some big things to do, her mum will come and take the kids just for a walk around the block. Or if it's a really big thing, like she'll get a nanny in for a couple of hours. And like, what did Marlene said? Sorry, my chat box is cropped off a bit. Marlene said, I sent a potential client some ammunition for broaching things with her husband, and 3 days later she signed up. So there are ways to support people with it. So if somebody says, I have to ask my partner, support them in that, and then organise a follow-up time to get back in touch with them. FAQ sheets are great. They're a good thing to also have on your website, something that I've just rebuilt my website end of last year, so something that's definitely going up. So you know, if you generally work with women and, you know, if they've got male partners, that generally men are Googlers, they're going to look up your website. If you have all those frequently asked questions and that up there, it's like that's just another way to make it easier for him to go, yeah, okay, this sounds cool. So yeah, So I like this little brains trust in the group chat. That's awesome. I haven't got my camera on. I'm like gesturing and talking really animatedly and you can't even see me. So that's the partner objection, right? So I can't do it now. Maybe next round. Who gets this? Oh, I can't do it now. Now it could be time, money, partner, whatever, but it's a very much like, oh yeah, I can't really do it now. Oh yeah, it was Mike at conference last year who said he'd send a letter to the partner. And I know with Authentic Education, if you sign up for courses at their live event, they have a letter for your partner in the envelope that they hand over with all your sign-up details. So it's inclusive that way. Inclusive. I don't know, like if I had a partner and, you know, he was making a big financial decision, I'd probably be, and he's come back and gone, oh yeah, I just bought $5,000 worth of training. I'd probably be a little bit like, wait, what? Huh? What? So yeah, so that's very much a respect thing. Yeah, Jess is like, she'd be annoyed too. So I can't do it now, right? Ask them if they want to book later, because sometimes I can't do it now is a little bit of a way to sort of block that sale, block that opportunity. Oh, I can't do it now. Oh, great. Okay, well, when can you do it? Because sometimes people are just sort of too polite to come out and say no. And when we have people on the phone, if they don't want it, we want them to say they don't want it. Not, oh, I can't do it now. Because what that does for us, it opens up a loop in our brain for us. I would much rather people say, you know what, Trudy, that sounds really great. I don't want to do it. It's not for me. Awesome, no worries. But if somebody says, I can't do it now, I follow these steps. Yeah, I'm the same, Jess. Much prefer honesty. But it's conditioning, right? Remember what we talked about earlier? Especially for women, we've got to be polite. We can't risk upsetting anyone's feelings. I can't do it now. You know, we can just gently back away and then hope that they forget about us. Yeah, Teresa, we have to be nice. But here's the thing. Sometimes people say, oh, I can't do it now because they don't feel they're allowed and they want to. So you can see some of these things have two sides to them. So if somebody says they want to do it later, it's like, awesome. When can we book you in? So for example, with the up and coming round of squad. So I had 3 people already book in last year because they couldn't do the round that started last year. They did want to do it. Now, if they had said, oh, I can't do it now, and I just said, oh, okay, cool, maybe another time, you know, chances are, you know, and some of them are on the call, they would have maybe gone off and found somebody else to work with in the meantime, maybe somebody who was a little bit pushier with the sales and sort of convinced them to sign up. Or, you know, when you have somebody there, if they say I can't do it now and they're still on the phone, chances are they're waiting for you to provide a solution, because a lot of what this is providing a solution that they can work with. So give people an incentive to commit. You know, if you have a $700 course and they're like, oh, look, I can't do it for a couple of months, just like, okay, great. How about pop down a deposit, just $100, and then we'll start your program in 3 months when you're ready. And that'll give you some time to put some extra money aside, or we can start a payment plan, however that works for you, but let's get you committed. Because what you will find, once you ask people to make a financial commitment, the real objections will come up. I'm just reading what Jess is saying. When I play that same role, I guess, because then I don't want to be rude and push the client because I'm unsure if they're saying these things because they don't want to sign up, make a commitment. Yeah, and with that, Jess, what I find, and I do this, if I don't want something, I'll be pretty clear. But if I want something, and I'm just not sure how to make it work, or I'm not quite sure if it's right for me, because quite often people will object because they still have questions. They're still not 100% over the line with the know, like, trust, and they're still waiting for you to just give them that next thing for them to just go, yes, this is why we handle these things the way that we do. So with the I can't do it now, maybe the next round, I ask them to book. Now, if they're not prepared to put a deposit down, that shows me for sure that I haven't done my job right as the salesperson. And I know salesperson's a bit of a term, but it is, oh, sorry, I'm just reading the comments. Yeah, giving that person the solution. But as soon as somebody's like, no, I don't want to put a deposit down, that shows me that I haven't done my job properly and I need to review their understanding of what I'm offering. It's like, okay, cool. Don't want to put a deposit down. That's fine. Do you have any questions? Because I'm feeling like you're kind of like you're still here on the phone and you're interested. Have I not done my job right? Have I not given you all the information you need to be able to say a yes or a no? I am very comfortable saying that because I know my head, and I know sometimes I think what I say is just really easy to understand, and I know sometimes people still get a bit confused. And a confused mind says no, right? So talk about the options, and if they are going to put a deposit down and prepare, offer them some help. Let them know they can keep in touch with you. Keep highlighting the benefits. So organize a time to get back in touch if they're like, they don't want to put a deposit down and they're not sure. But I think the biggest thing, if somebody says, I can't do it now, or I'm not sure, or find out what's stopping them. You do actually need to ask the questions. And it's very easy to just go, okay, they said no, they don't want it. Whatever. All right, it's done. Next call. Whereas I think if you spend so much time building a relationship with somebody, offering them massive value on the call, spending that extra 5 minutes or so to really make sure that they're making the right choice for them, that's handling objections with grace and ease. Now, grace is the absence of the unnecessary. So it's not about manipulating. It's not about throwing in all these extra things. It's not about a 10-page sales script with double triplicates in it to find out information that you can throw back at people's heads, because that's how I was trained. It's about really listening and spending the time. So who wants to role play? Now it's 22, probably got time for a couple of people. If somebody wants to unmute, if you have an objection and you want to do a role play, happy to do a couple live on the call, because nothing like testing out my objection handling. Anyone? Everyone's gone quiet. If nobody wants to do it, that's fine. I can think of some examples. Or if you don't want to go live on the call, type something in. Oh, Jess is like, yeah, so tell me, share a common objection that you get, for people working for you, and we'll role play it out. You can be the client and I'll pretend to be you if you want. Going what? Going to us. All right, Amanda and Jess. All right. Amanda, do you want to go first? And then we'll do an objection with Jess as well. Amanda, where are you? I'll unmute you. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you for volunteering. I was a bit like, oh, okay, this is a bit awkward. But it's like, while you've got me on a call, you might as well take advantage of me.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So an objection I regularly get, well, not regularly, sometimes get polite, and I really don't know what to do with it, is, I would love, all right, so you need to ask me a question.
Okay, so what's your job? What's your business?
I offer packages for people so that I look after all the mundane and everyday things in their home and personal life: trainings, getting their dry cleaning done.
So you're the concierge, dry cleaning.
Yeah, concierge. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, all those millions of little jobs that are mundane but never ending and have to be done. Yeah, that's what I get done.
All right. Cool. Is this Amanda Horn?
Yeah. Hi.
It's only coming up Amanda on the thing. It doesn't come up with your last name.
Oh, okay.
There we go. All right, cool. Now I know who you are. Oh my God, how embarrassing. Okay, so I'm going to be you, and I'm going to offer. Now, it may not be the exact product thing, but just go with me. And so, Amanda,
yeah,
I've absolutely loved being able to give you some of these tips around managing your time and getting your life back on track. Now, I don't know if you know or not, but I am a concierge, and I do. I can take care of all of these things that we talked about for you. So once a week, I'll come around, I'll take cleaning, I'll make sure the house is organized, we'll sit down together, we'll go through all of the things that need doing, and we'll put a plan and strategy in place. So either I'll take care of it or you take care of it. But you'll get all this, you'll get all this mental clarity back, you'll have less things to worry about, because I'll be taking care of everything. Is that something that you'd love help with?
Oh, you sound like a dream. You sound like an angel. The thing is, though, I don't have time to get myself organised to use you.
Great. You know what? That is, Amanda, that is the first step. How much time do you spend worrying about all the stuff that you're not getting done a week?
Well, yeah, I'm waking up at in the middle of the night going, oh yeah, I've got to do that, and oh yeah, and then I'll write millions of lists for myself, and then there's a pile on the kitchen desk of paperwork I need to do. It's just heaps of stuff. Yeah,
and I hear that a lot from people. So you know what? Yeah. Do you think you could spare me an hour? I will come to you, or we can do it over Skype or Zoom, and we will sit down for that hour together. And I will pull everything out of your head. We'll go through all of the rooms of your house. We'll have a look at all of the stuff that you do, and I'll take that weight off your shoulders. Could you give me an hour a week?
I'd love to, but my house is an absolute disaster. I mean, I just don't know. I just don't know.
You know what?
Yep.
I can help remove disaster zone from your house. But you know what? It is going to be a process. If you've gotten into that space where you're waking up in the middle of the night and everything is actually really chaotic, that is a real sign to me that you actually really need my help. So we can book in for 1 hour. We'll come in. We'll test the process. We'll get it all set up. Whether or not you want me to keep working with you, what you'll get from this hour is a system and a process to be able to start managing it. So you stop waking up in the middle of the night, because I don't know about you, but I've had insomnia before, and it's the worst thing, because if you get in broken sleep, you're not waking up energized, and then you're looking at all the stuff that needs to be done. You don't want to do it. So do you want to do an hour?
Yeah. That's. I mean, now I'm Amanda now, and you're Trudy. You're amazing. That is simply amazing. You just gave me so much of an idea of that. I need to actually set up a system for that 1 hour, so that I can give it free. Thank you so much. That's really you. But you nailed it. Did you feel
pressured at all in that? Did you feel like I was just hungry for a sale? See, this is what handling objections is. Now, I might not be quite on the mark about what it is that you do, but
you did good.
But that was a time objection, and there was probably a shitload, excuse my language, a shitload of embarrassment in there about how bad the space had gotten for her. Mm-hmm. And that's where it's like when you get a cleaner and you clean the house before the cleaner comes, right? Because you're like, they're going to see that I'm not organized, and it's like, that's why you hire a cleaner to come and organize it for you. But I had a cleaner when I lived in Adelaide, and I did that the first time she came. My partner at the time was like, what are you doing? So this is where really understanding and putting ourselves in our client's shoes and really hearing beyond the objection, that's where you're going to be able to really support people. And this is for everyone. So Glad I could help.
Thank you.
No worries. Now, where is Jess? Can you unmute yourself, Jess? Oh, there we are.
Hi.
Hi, Jess.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. Now, tell everyone what you do.
Oh, so I'm a nutritionist and kinesiologist.
Now, do you bundle the two things together when you're talking to people, or are they coming for one thing?
Sometimes I get people that just come for nutrition.
Yep.
Sometimes I get people that just come for kinesiology. But where I see the biggest improvement is when they're open to and interested in both.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, shall I pretend to be you and just make something up, or do you have a particular package that you like, a one-off? Or?
Well, normally people will book in for one session first because I like people to taste test it.
Yep.
And then from there, I'll then upsell them to like a 3-month or a 6-month package.
Cool.
But it's generally like if they've said yeah for the initial, generally they'll go on to the package.
Cool.
But it's mainly that initial one. And I'm just thinking now off the top of my head, I've just joined a local clinic in my local area. And my big hesitation at the moment is that people in my local area don't have as much of a disposable income as, say, like I live near Sydney, like an hour north of Sydney, and they don't really have that disposable income. They either get free healthcare, or they're used to free things or very cheap things, or they do it themselves, even though they may not be doing it as well themselves.
Yep. Okay. All right. So let's really stretch me.
Okay.
Because why not? So you're somebody that's wandered into the clinic. They're not feeling very well, and this is about the initial first session, right?
Yeah.
So I think we'll sort of plan this one out a little bit.
Okay.
So we're running under the assumption that I've filled you in on all of the benefits of, and combining nutrition and kinesiology is really quite a powerful medium. Now, having listened to both your physical symptoms and where you're at with your nutrition, I think it would be really good to book you in for a session. Gives you a little taste test. You can see how we work together and you can see how you feel. How does that sound for you?
Oh, that sounds really good. I just can't deal with it anymore.
Great. Awesome. So it's $175 for the initial session, and then ongoing sessions, we package them up and the price drops down. First session, we take a little bit more time because what we'll do, we'll fill in like a really detailed nutrition chart, and I'll do a lot of detailed muscle testing. So how would you like to pay for that?
I wasn't expecting to pay now, and I wasn't, that's 175 you said, was it?
Yeah. Generally takes about 90 minutes to 2 hours for the first session. So we just allocate that space so we can really go deep into your health stuff, because quite often what we see at a superficial level, like that top level, really hides deeper level things that we really need to work on.
Yeah, I've started exploring stuff like that. It's really interesting. So I am open to that. I just I don't know if I have that kind of money right now.
Yep.
That's all.
Okay, so if money was no object, I'd just like to check in. If money was no object, would you want to book in for the service?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Awesome. What I can do, if you want, we can split it over 2 payments. So if you're able to put a deposit down today, and that'll just secure your spot. And then when you come in for the actual appointment, we can pay the balance then. Would that work for you?
Yeah. So what would that look like?
What would you be able to pop down today? Can you pop 100 down today?
Oh, I think that would put me over my maximum for today. Actually, you know what? I probably should talk to my husband or just see what our family budgets are looking like at the moment, because got kids' expenses and
going
things
back to school holidays.
Yeah.
They're quite interesting times, aren't they? Okay, great. So I'm going to ask a question. You said you've been sort of looking at different health things and everything. Is that something that your husband's been looking at with you, or does he know nothing about kinesiology and nutrition?
No, he's very straighty 180. He doesn't get it at all.
Okay.
His idea of health is not nearly the same as mine. It's potato chips and McDonald's and all the rest.
Yep. No, that's fair enough. Men have a different approach to lifestyle than women quite often. Okay, so what generally plays out is someone will go home, they'll tell their partner, and their partner will have no idea what they're talking about, and the partner will just go no, because the partner doesn't understand. He hasn't had this conversation, so the partner doesn't actually understand like the true value of nutrition and kinesiology. It's happened before. So let's put a plan in place so you can actually go and talk to him in a way where he'll go, okay, cool. He'll understand it and he'll support you in your decision to book the appointment. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good, because he's the main reason I get so stressed, because then I know I go home and then he gets stressed and I get stressed and then we all just go around in circles.
Yeah. So that's fine. So this is what I would say. I'd go home and say to him, okay, babe, I haven't been feeling very well lately. I feel like it's impacting, and I would assume that you've had this conversation in the session, that they've already talked about how they're feeling. Yeah. So you've already said to me that, you're not feeling very well, you're having trouble keeping up with everything, you feel like you're not feeling very healthy and you're very tired and worn out, and it's actually impacting your relationship with him and with the kids, and you're running out of energy. So you really want to understand the nutrition and the food that you're eating, so not only you but everyone in the family can actually start to feel better. So how would he feel about that if you said you wanted to book in, a 2-hour appointment with a health practitioner? Because it's not only you that's going to benefit, it's also going to be him and the kids.
Yeah, I think if I explained it like that to him, that I've never tried to do that before. That sounds really good. Because
if people don't understand something, they automatically say no. So we want him to support the decision that you've made, to look after your health, and for him to see that he's going to get a benefit as well. So going home and having the conversation with him about it. Kinesiology, you might want to go a little bit easy talking on the kinesiology, but talk about, how it's going to feel your muscles. If he's a straighty 180, kinesiology might do his head in a little bit. And this isn't about separating you as a couple or causing issue, but it's about him understanding that this is something that you honestly feel that you need for your own health and well-being.
Yeah, it's so interesting to hear you explain all that, Trudy. Back to me now, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, because it's just such a natural conversation, isn't it? I think like with everything in life, it's all about us, isn't it? Like how I react, or even, how my body feels going into those sales conversations, and not keeping it just like a normal everyday conversation that I would have with someone that, either a client in session, like a counseling type thing, or a just general conversation with friends or whatever. It's so, I don't know why in my head it's different.
It's all conditioning. It's all, we've just been told that, especially as women, that, men generally, I don't know very many men who have issues about going after a sale or asking for a sale and being very aggressive and strong about getting the sale. But it's the feminine ideal that we need to be gentle and, just like, oh, I can't ask you. So I honestly believe there is a lifetime of conditioning. And I honestly believe that if I hadn't have done 17 years in retail, I probably would be struggling with sales a lot as well.
Yeah, I think it's also to do with the industry that I'm in as well. Like if it's in retail, I never had an issue with sales or anything like that. Whereas in this, for some reason, it's different. It's very, like you're saying, that feminine kind of industry.
And especially if it's a gentle, nurturing, healing industry, you know, asking questions around, okay, so how, you know, if money wasn't an object, would you still want this? Like, to me, that's a conversation. That's making sure that I've done my job properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that so makes sense.
Oh, sorry, Anna, I will get your question off you later. So that's sales. Hopefully that's helped and given you a bit of a different perspective, slightly different way to look at it. Awesome. All right, I'll put it back on mute. Thanks for volunteering. Thank you. Okay, so ladies, if you want to go further down the sales rabbit hole and strengthen your results even more, you can book a session with me. So if you've got any other questions that you want to sort of type in, I know it's 3 o'clock now, but I can stay online for another 15 minutes if anyone wants to ask any questions. I don't mind. I got a little bit of passion and excited about talking about sales. But what I am going to offer is a 45-minute call to work on and refine your biggest objections, so we can spend time going through like what we've just done then, different ways to approach. No worries, Jess, you're welcome. If you have other things around sales that you're stuck with, introducing the sales, setting up free sales calls, any of that kind of stuff, I'm doing 10 for $45 because, you know, just make it a nice little easy thing for everyone if anyone wants to book in. But there's the link there as well. But what this will get you is personalized sales training. Now, there's somebody on the call. I won't say their name in case they don't want me to say their name. But in one 15-minute conversation, this person was able to go from doing free calls and not offering anything to her first call after our session together to then close a $600 sale. So this is the power of being able to have a beautiful sales process and being able to set up a system, being able to know the words and what to say and how to handle it with grace and ease. No worries, Marlene, thank you. So 10 spots available. They're only $45. I usually charge myself out at $300. So, but this is my way of rewarding you for being on the call or for watching the recording and committing to make a difference in your business and making a difference in other people's lives. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Judy. So the link is in the chat thing. So does anyone have any other questions? Sales in general? Any other objections? The transition between the end of a session and the sales part, is that something we could go over? Definitely. So it depends, I guess, on the structure of what has brought people there. So I make it pretty clear, like in my sales copy, if I'm doing a free call, it's like, this is what you get in the free call. At the end of the call, if I think we're a good fit, I'll talk to you about different ways we can continue working together. So I'll put that up as written copy. So before anyone has even booked in the call, they know that that's going to happen. So there's no surprises. So that's my way of structuring my copy when I invite people for a free call. I think it's really, for me, I suppose I've done it so many times, it just feels really natural. So we finished the session. So Jess, I'll use you as the example. So this lady's come back, you know, I'm so glad you spoke to your husband and we got that sorted. How did you enjoy your first session? How was it? Anything come up for you? Have you got any questions? Great. Awesome. So you've got a nutrition plan now and you've had your first kinesiology thing. You will need to go home and drink lots of water. Now, I did mention when we very first spoke that I have 3-month and 6-month packages. Let me tell you about those packages because I'd love to keep working with you. Is that something you'd be interested in? I like to get permission. Hey, you know what? We've had a great first session. I'd love to keep working with you. Is that something you'd be interested in? Because I've got some really awesome ways we can work together. It is smooth and easy. Grace and ease, right? It's the absence of the unnecessary. There's no dithering around going, oh my God, we've had a really good oh, but what if they don't want another session? What if the money thing's going to come up? What if, because when we're in that space, we are not in a space of service. And this will make a lot more sense if you listen to the earlier recording. This is us in our head. This is our ego. This is us being worried about being rejected. That's what that is. It's having a conversation. And my suggestion would be, whether you're booking a session with me or whether you just go and practice on people or whatever, however you do it, actually physically speak the words. No worries, Karen. Thanks for joining on the call. Actually speak the words. So like that role play that I did, write the words down. Get comfortable saying them. Hear your tonality. Hear how it sounds. Even if you practice with your partner, you're going to be the client and you're going to object to buying stuff with me. Now, when you give people permission to do that, they generally go overboard and they will like stretch you so much, but it's getting used to saying the words. Because if you're, no worries, Amanda, because if you're in a live situation with someone and your brain is scrambling to remember what to say or is reading it off the notes, and you know what, have it written down for the first half a dozen calls. But get comfortable to not having a script. I don't have a sales script. I used to, but now I've practiced so much, I automatically know what I need to say, and that's why it becomes seamless, because I've practiced. You know, it's like you go to a theatre production and the actors are on stage and they're seamless and everything's moving. It's because they've spent hours and hours practicing. They don't have to consciously think about the words anymore or what the next thing is they're going to say. And then they can stay fully present in the moment. And that's why sales is service. Because when somebody's talking to me and I'm offering a service, I am fully present with them. I'm not worried about the next thing to say. I'm not worried, oh my God, what if they say no? What if they don't like me? What if? Because that's ego and I'm in my head. I'm out of my head. I'm focused on them. And because I've rehearsed it, the words just flow naturally. Sorry, I feel like I was getting a little bit preachy then. My apologies. But that's the difference. Actually speaking the words so you know what to say. And have little cheat notes somewhere if you're doing calls, just as little reminders until you get into a really beautiful natural flow. That's awesome. Good work, Linda. And thanks, Wendy. No worries. So any other questions, or everyone looks like they're getting ready to go. Oh, sorry, that was answer time. For your questions, sounds like everyone's good. You'll get a copy of the recording. I will send out the link for the other training so you can have a look at that as well. If you want to book for a 45-minute session for 45, there's the link. I'd love to help. I love sales because it's service. And when you really get into that space, it just becomes easy and you want to get on the phone and tell everyone about how you can help them. It's a beautiful thing. All right, no worries. I will let you ladies go. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm glad that I could be of service, and I'm sure our paths will cross online sometime soon if I don't do a call with you. All right, all the best. Take care. Bye.